Had a bit of a big week here. We actually haven't done much work on the 34. I don't know if you can remember, but there was actually a massive wall here and a old makeshift spray booth in the corner. So we removed the wall, got rid of the spray booth. So we've got the other hoist there. Still a bit of mess around, but it's looking pretty good. So then we've got another 2 work bays for getting cars ready. So it's all looking pretty good in here. So now it's time to get stuck back into the 34 and just get rid of the bumpers, mount the indicators, just get all the bits and pieces done. So I'll drop it on the ground now and start having a play. So I pushed the Mini outside and dropped the 34 onto the ground. It's really handy having 2 hoists in the workshop now. First point of call is sorting out this dog shit throttle linkage we just set up so we could drive it. Like, have a look at the yeah, the angle. It's going straight up onto there. So we're just going to make something a bit neater and a bit more functional, because that looks like it'll probably wear out the cable and snap in no time. First up, I removed the radiator hose that was sort of blocking us from getting to the carby, just to get a bit of access and just make it a bit easier to work on. Now I have the radiator hose removed, so you can sort of see a bit better. Yeah, so the angles aren't real flash, so I'll get this off and start coming up with a better idea, and also want to get something a bit better to hold the cable. We literally only set this up just so we could drive it quickly, so I'm aware it's pretty shit. So this is the old cable holder. So it's just a little bit short to fit through our linkage, so I think I'm just going to TIG a little bit on here and just make it a bit longer so that that'll work, and then that'll work sweet with the linkage. And here is the other, like the cable holder, but this needs to be, yeah, probably 50-60 mil longer. So I'll probably just fuck that bit off altogether. Maybe TIG something on here with a little bracket. So that's where the cable was sitting, about there, and it needs to sit about up about there. So I eyeballed the measurements and headed over to the scrap bin and see if I could find something that would work. So I've found a bolt. I needed 80 mil to get the cable up to where we need it for the throttle. So I found a bolt here. I'm probably gonna machine the end down, cut that down, and sort of make this into the cable bracket. So I got the grinder out and cut the head of the bolt off. Next up, I flipped it around, marked the length I needed, and cut it again. Then I headed over to the linisher, gave it a bit of a clean up, and see what we're working with. So I've got this cut down to size. What I'm going to do now is I need to make a flat for the cable to sit on. So I'm probably going to mark it along here. So do a cut there and a cut there to get a flat on there. Then I'll drill a hole through there, and then that'll hold the cable. Once again, I just gave it a run with the grinder. Don't really have much fancy sort of machinery here, so just sort of get it done with what we have. As you can see, I've sort of roughly cut it out, so I'll now just give it a shape up on the sander. I did say sander, but it wasn't working the way I wanted to, so I opted for the file instead, and that worked out well. The old bracket has a 6mm hole in it, so I'll have to now do a 6mm hole in here to hold the cable. So the cable will feed through into here, and then come out over there. Quick little pilot hole with a 3mm, and then I smash the 6mm straight through the guts. Alright, so I've sort of got the hole drilled. So you can see where I'm getting at here now. So I've got the hole drilled in there, the cable sit in. I'll TIG that down onto the bolt, and that'll see better level to operate the throttle. So I'll mark this square and TIG it on. So I tightened the manifold bolt tight and then lined up the mount so that it would be pointing the right way towards the carby. I put a tack on it and then had to give it a hit around with the hammer to square it up. And then I just ran a weld right around it with the TIG welder. It should be pretty strong, and I can't see it failing us. So I have the new mount welded up and on. So now I just need to figure out to make this longer, so it'll come out the other end there. So if I just weld a little bit on there so I can get a split pin, then we can hook the cable up and it'll work. Just boom, boom, boom. I have just TIGged a little bolt onto the end of that, and I'll just lop the end off, drill a new hole for the split pin, give it a linish down, and just spun it down on the hillbilly hand lathe. So now I have to drill a hole in it so I can put a split pin, and away you go. Happy motoring. I got a little hole drilled in it. The split pin just fell out, but you get the picture. So I've got it on, mounted onto the throttle linkage. Cable goes through that hole there. So got the new mount on. The brackets been customised. A little bit of slack in there. Seems to work. Let's jump in and give it a go, eh? Let's get full throttle. Bop, bop, bop. Bum, bum. Now we have the linkages sorted out. I'm probably going to get rid of these, I reckon, because I'm not going to run the bars. So they're just the bumper bar brackets. So it's just a couple of bolts here, bang bang. Got the bumper irons off, looking much better. We'll do the rear bumper now. Piss that off. I'm hoping I can mount these sort of off this bolt upside down so they just sort of hang here. Taken the rear bar off and I've just got the indicators sort of mocked up here. It took ages to find like an old looking nut that was kind of looking right there. We've got the indicators mocked up. I don't know, I think they look a bit funny, but probably when it's on the ground it's gonna look a bit different than fucking at eye height. I'll stick it on the ground, have a look. Doesn't look too bad. Got the indicators mounted up. It's on the ground. From up here, it looks good. Next up, we're going to do the water pumps because these are pissing out water. Getting started on the water pumps. So I've just removed the bottom radiator hoses there. They're just sitting here. I'm just letting all the water drain out. Just dropped it down because I'm a short boy. First up is I'll get the belt off. Get out of the way. Here is the new water pump. So as you can see, there is one bolt there, one over here, one just below the pulley, and then one inside there. That actually gets them off the block, those four, and then that one is the engine mount. This one down here can sometimes give you a few dramas, so hopefully it comes out of the car easy. Gonna try and do it without pulling the grill and stuff off, but we'll just see how we go. All pending this one coming out alright, because when that snaps, you know, like any job, 5-minute job turns into 5 hours with one snap bolt. So I've disconnected the bolt, undone the donut mount. We've got the jack under the engine holding it up so that it doesn't fall down after we do it. So now I'm just going to give these a crack and hopefully the one down the bottom doesn't give me a hard time. Alright, bottom bolt came out, piece of piss. All of them are out now, so... Oh, look how fucked that pump is. I was hoping the whole thing would pop off then, but just gave it a little hit with a dowel and got it off. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Alright, so I've just gotten it off. I'm no expert, but I'm thinking it's not meant to move like that. Let's try the new one. Yeah, no, nothing. So that is probably why it was leaking. It wasn't leaking a whole heap, it was only dribbling, but I'd say that is probably the issue. They look like they're gonna work. Ripper. I'll give it a clean up with the razor blade and whack the new pump on. There we go, first one on. Now to the second. Got both the water pumps on and the belt on and the new water hoses. So now we'll give the exhaust a bit of a tickle up with some new mufflers and we can chuck some water in it and fire it up. So the old mufflers are stuffed, so we had to put some hot dogs in. So I've just got it all sort of tacked up. This is the first time I've ever done any exhaust work, so I mean it looks a bit shit, but should be right. So I'm just gonna slowly weld it. Had to put a flange on there, extend this by about 80mm onto the old exhaust. So I'll slowly weld it all up and hopefully it's pointing in the same direction when it's done. So I just kind of did little stitch welds around it and sort of did it slowly. I didn't want to blast it all in one hit and the pipe sort of heat or shrink and the pipes end up pointing in different directions because I had it tacked up and looking nice. Just done the exhaust, mounted the indicators. It's all lining up, looks alright then. Pretty even. Dad's filling up the coolant. We'll fire it up, see what the exhaust sounds like. Yeah. Stand there, I'll rev it up. Sounds good. Yeah. After we finished the exhaust and fired up yesterday, I welded up these guards. They had some massive cracks in them. So we had a few cracks going down there, one over there, and one there. So at first we were going to try and keep like the, aesthetic of the fucking crack guard. So I was like, oh, we'll just tack it from underneath with the MIG. And I hit first tacker, literally just blew a massive hole in it. So then I cleaned it up as good as I could and I got the TIG and I just sort of went pretty low amps and just stitched it back together. So it's come up alright. I think it still looks good. Sort of matches the aesthetic of the junky old car. This side came way easier. You can see here, just bang. It was a nice clean split. So I just got the TIG on low and TIG'd it right up. So it's pretty well ready to hit the reliability run this weekend. Thanks for watching, guys. Oh, and if you could like and subscribe, that would be shit hot. Thank you.